You want to grow watercress? You better watch this video. Now, watercress is a very, very old world plant. We've been eating watercress for thousands and thousands of years. It grows wild in streams, especially chalk, calcareous streams across Europe and the UK. But what I wouldn't advise you to do is try and harvest wild watercress. Something called liver fluke, and it can be quite detrimental to your health. So don't want to do that. Very, very popular with the Victorians. And what the Victorians would do is they'd manipulate the sides of rivers so they could grow this stuff en masse. It's got a very, very lovely warm taste to it. And not a lot of people know that watercress is it is a superfood within itself. It's extremely high in calcium, extremely high in iron and vitamin C, bags of vitamin C. And the good thing about watercress is if you give it the right conditions, you can even get a leaf crop in winter time. I mean, if you wanted to dedicate a little bit of polytunnel to it, you could have green leaves throughout the winter, and you know, it makes a very, very nice salad. It's really good in sandwiches. A real lovely taste. I like things with a bit of kick to them. You know, I like lettuce, but you know, you can't beat things like watercress and rocket. I really like a little bit of flavour to my salads, a little bit of bang. Now, the good thing about watercress is it can do with partial shade. What a good way of propagating watercress is simply just to get them from the packet and stick them in the ground or stick them in water for a couple of weeks. They'll sprout roots. I mean, I've even heard people say you can just throw them on the top of a pond and they'll just root themselves. And I know they can do that, but the pond I've got here, the ducks ate all the watercress before I got any roots. But apparently you can do it that way. But you know, what you've got to be mindful of, if you're going to be harvesting your own watercress, you don't want it sitting in stagnant water or anything like that. So you either devise a system whereby you've got a pump and a shingle bed, or you use mineral water, or you grow it in sort of a bowl of water in the house. You get a glass bowl, you fill it with shingle or mineral water, and you just top it up, and you put your cuttings in there, and then you can keep cropping a little system like that for a month or two. But I mean, you know, in terms of longevity, I like to grow them in just a moist soil. You know, and just chop them and wash them. And I think that's a way of keeping them in some sort of ecological balance. And you know, cut them and come again. And I just want to show you a little example of what I did. I just bought some refrigerated watercress from the shop. And because I've always said it grows exactly in the sort of similar conditions that wasabi does, I just put them in the side of a wasabi pot. And that's what you'll probably see there. This little plant just on the edge here, that's a bit of watercress that I put in there 3 weeks ago. And it's just a lazy way of me taking cuttings, just so I know it's going to survive, because I'm going to come in and water the wasabi no matter what. So if I just prick this out, let's see what... So this is 3 weeks ago I've stuck this in here, and it is February at the minute, so it's middle of winter. Right, okay. So look, see that? So that little bit of watercress there has got some roots. You know, it's got enough roots. I mean, for the middle of winter, that's reasonable. You know, so what you can do is you can get that, do a few of them, and get a system. I mean, what I'm going to do is I'll get a bucket, get a wide bucket or a trough, fill it full of compost. It still likes a rich soil. Slap some holes sort of halfway along. You don't have to slap holes in it, you know, as long as you're going to keep an eye on it and you're not going to let it get to a complete toxic sludge, then, you know, I'd be quite confident in harvesting the watercress. I mean, what I'm going to do today is just simply get a bucket, put soil in it, no holes in the bottom, and I'm just going to plant these watercress, and I'm going to do them as a cut and come again, and just spray them as and when they need water. And I think that's what you want to do with watercress, you know, because it can tolerate the shade as well. Sometimes getting the old builder's trough for knocking up cement, fill that full of soil. If there's a hedgerow that casts shade, or there's bits of grass that won't grow there, just slap a few tubs there, put your watercress cuttings in, keep them watered, put some drainage holes a bit further up the top, and there you have it. You know, you can go out with a pair of scissors, you get your watercress crop, and you're happy, and you can do them in succession. So it's a good way of making use of shady places in the garden, is getting a productive crop of watercress. Try and position your watercress plants at least 3 inches apart, and when you cut them, don't cut them too low to the floor. Try and leave, you know, at least an inch, inch and a half, and just keep cropping them like that. And then every now and then take a few more cuttings. Eventually your plants will get a bit exhausted and won't be much good. So there you have it, watercress. A great crop. Worth investing a bit of time and effort in getting them cut and come again greens. Get out there and grow some!